Darkness swallows the New Mexico desert. March 9, 1916, 4:15 in the morning. Then gunfire shatters silence. Foreign voices screaming, "Viva Villa! Viva Mexico!" Flames erupt. Americans die in their beds. The unthinkable becomes real tonight. War has crossed your border. Picture yourself in bed, peaceful. Suddenly, hoofbeats thunder outside. Spanish screams pierce walls. Bullets punch through wood. Your neighbor collapses, blood pooling black. This nightmare happened. A Mexican revolutionary attacked American soil deliberately. One question burns. Why would anyone orchestrate such suicidal madness? Francisco Villa, hero or butcher? His revolution crumbles. Army starves. American politicians betrayed him, choosing his enemy instead. Now he plans revenge. Not merely a raid, an international provocation. A calculated strike designed to humiliate Washington. One that will reshape North American history forever. You need to understand desperation, married to fury. When betrayal ignites violence, Columbus wasn't random chaos. Villa knew exactly his purpose. 485 armed men. Darkness as ally. America's sleeping garrison as target. Supplies to seize. Blood to spill. This was calculated catastrophe. Private Fred Griffin stands guard outside headquarters. 19 years old. South Carolina farm boy far from home. Routine night watch becomes his final duty. Shadows move wrong through blackness. He challenges them. Rifle fire answers. Griffin fires back, killing 3 raiders before bullets tear through his stomach. His warning saves dozens sleeping nearby. His sacrifice buys precious seconds for defense. But Columbus burns anyway. 17 Americans will die tonight. Over 100 Mexican raiders won't see dawn. One teenager's courage against Villa's fury. Remember that name, Fred Griffin. Remember sacrifice. Step backward. Winter, 1916. Northern Mexico bleeds from civil war. Villa's division of the North, once mighty, once invincible, reduced to starving remnants. Defeats crush morale. Rival Venustiano Carranza, supported by Washington politicians, controls Mexico City. Villa needs weapons, horses, food, desperately. Survival demands action. Villa once admired America. Hollywood filmed his battles for cinema audiences. American banks financed his campaigns enthusiastically. He trusted Washington. Then they discarded him, chose Carranza instead. Betrayal tastes bitter in your mouth when swallowed. Villa realizes he's been used, a tool thrown away. His generals gather in mountain camps debating survival. Fighting fellow Mexicans seems futile now. Someone suggests the unthinkable. Strike northward. Attack Americans directly. Force Washington into war with Mexico. Make Carranza choose between sovereignty and American support. It's brilliantly destructive thinking. Villa listens carefully. Picture Villa, studying maps by firelight, tracing the border with scarred, calloused fingers. Columbus, New Mexico, tiny town, 3 miles from Mexico. American cavalry garrison stationed there. Supplies, weapons, horses, everything his starving army desperately needs. Close enough to raid, remote enough to escape. But there's another reason. Sam Ravel operates Columbus Mercantile Company. Guns, ammunition, supplies. Ravel sells everything. Legend whispers Villa paid Ravel for weapons that never arrived. Business deal transformed into fraud. Was this raid partly personal revenge? Villa himself never explained his motivations completely. March 8th. Villa dispatches 2 trusted officers as spies. They cross the border casually, entering Columbus in broad daylight. Counting soldiers, mapping buildings, identifying targets. They report back. Only 30 to 50 troops garrisoned there. Easy target. Villa believes them. Fatal miscalculation. Reality. 350 American cavalrymen stationed at Camp Furlong. The spies miscounted catastrophically, missing his entire barracks. But Villa's already committed psychologically. 485 raiders prepare weapons. They sharpen knives, check ammunition carefully. Villa addresses them. Tonight, we avenge betrayal. Tonight, Mexico's honor demands blood. Night descends. Clear desert sky turns pitch black. Villa divides forces into 2 columns. Most advance on foot for stealth. They move through arroyos, using terrain for concealment. 4 miles southwest of Columbus, they pause, waiting, watching stars wheel overhead. Midnight passes. Still they wait. 3 Villa experts crawl forward through darkness, knives ready, glinting faintly. They locate American outpost guards, 2 soldiers on duty, unaware, breathing softly. The Villistas strike silently. Both sentries die without firing shots. Villa's column advances undetected through shadows. Another outpost bypassed entirely. Columbus lies exposed. 4:15 in the morning. Villa signals attack. His bugler remains silent. Noise comes later. Raiders surge forward shouting, "Viva Villa! Viva Mexico! Muerto a los gringos! Death to Americans!" They pour into Columbus from west and southeast simultaneously. Torches ignite wooden buildings. Chaos explodes. Darkness shatters. I see shadows near headquarters. Challenge them. Halt! Who goes there? Rifle fire answers. Bullet tears through my stomach. But I don't fall silently. I fire back. 1 raider drops heavily. Then another crumples. 3rd man falls dead. I collapse. Darkness takes me. Fred Griffin. Griffin shots wake camp furlong. Soldiers scramble from barracks, grabbing rifles and pistols frantically. Some wear only underwear. Lieutenant James Castleman sprints toward gunfire, rounds the corner of duty shack, collides directly with Villista raider. Both men shocked. Castleman fires first. Mexican falls dead. Confusion reigns in darkness. Soldiers fire toward muzzle flashes. Some shoot at their own comrades initially. Mexican voices shouting, Spanish bring terrible relief. At least, now they know which direction death approaches from. Castleman organizes firing lines southeast of camp. Rifles crack methodically. Villa's raiders swarm through Columbus streets. Commercial hotel erupts in flames. Sam Ravel's mercantile store, their primary target, burns bright orange against black sky. Raiders loot what they can carry quickly. Horses, mules, rifles, ammunition. 300 weapons seized, but American resistance stiffens. Machine guns chatter death. Meet Maud Wright. March 1st, 8 days earlier. Villistas arrive at her Chihuahua ranch. They murder her husband Ed, kidnap her, force her to march with Villa's column. She rides silently, grief-stricken, separated from baby Johnny. Tonight she witnesses Columbus burning, wondering if she'll survive. Villa told me I'd die on this march. Too weak for war, he said. But I'm still breathing, watching Americans fight back fiercely. My guard, Juan Ramon, protects me from other soldiers. Villa keeps his word about that, not about freedom. Maud Wright. 9 civilians killed tonight in Columbus. 2 wounded badly. Most shot at close range, murdered rather than killed in combat. These weren't soldiers. James Dean, storekeeper. Bessie James, pregnant, shot 12 times. Wrong place, wrong moment. Villa's raid distinguishes no one. Everyone suffers. But American cavalry responds with devastating efficiency. Machine guns rake Mexican positions mercilessly. Lieutenant John Lucas, just returned from El Paso polo game, mans weapons until dawn. His bullets drop dozens of raiders. Springfield rifles crack methodically. Each shot finds flesh. Villa's men fall faster. Major Frank Tompkins rallies troops despite confusion. Mount up! Pursue them! He leads column chasing, retreating Villistas southward. Dawn breaks pink and orange, revealing carnage. Bodies scattered through Columbus streets. Blood soaks dirt roads black. Smoke chokes the desert air. Flames still crackle. Villa realizes his mistake immediately. Dawn exposes his men to accurate rifle fire. Darkness was their only advantage. Sunlight means death. His bugler sounds retreat urgently. Surviving raiders gallop southward at full speed. Behind them, Tompkins's cavalry pursues relentlessly. 15 miles into Mexican territory. The pursuit becomes slaughter. Tompkins's troopers chase exhausted raiders across open desert. Rifles crack repeatedly. Mexicans tumble from saddles. Between 50 and 100 Villistas die on Mexican soil. Abandoned machine guns, litter ground. Discarded loot everywhere. Dead horses bloating. Villa's triumph becomes disaster. Picture Villa retreating into mountain canyons. His raid succeeded, tactically captured weapons, horses, supplies temporarily. But strategically, catastrophic failure. 485 men attacked Columbus. Less than 300 return alive, nearly 40% casualties. Unaffordable losses. His army bleeds out faster than before. Back in Columbus, survivors confront horror. Smoke rises from gutted buildings. Bodies await burial. American casualties: 8 soldiers dead, 7 wounded, 9 civilians murdered. But the psychological wound cuts deeper than any bullet. Foreign army attacked American soil. This demands immediate federal response. News flashes across telegraph wires nationwide. Headlines scream invasion. Newspapers demand military action. Political pressure crushes President Woodrow Wilson. Congress debates declaring war on Mexico. Public fury demands Villa's head on a pike. Wilson faces impossible choice: respect Mexican sovereignty or avenge American dead. March 10th, one day after the raid, Brigadier General John Joseph Pershing receives orders from Washington. Organize punitive expedition, cross into Mexico, find Villa, capture or kill him. Respect Mexican sovereignty somehow. 6,000 troops mobilize. America's largest military deployment since the Civil War. Pershing stern, disciplined, ruthless when circumstances demand. His wife and 3 daughters died in fire years earlier. He understands loss intimately, commands respect and fear equally. Now tasked with impossible mission: invade Mexico without starting war, hunt Villa through hostile territory, capture a ghost. March 15th, 6 days after Columbus burned. Pershing's expedition crosses the border at 2 points. Columns advance from Columbus and Culberson's Ranch. Cavalry rides ahead, dust clouds rising. Infantry follows methodically. Horse artillery ready for deployment. They march into Mexico uninvited, unwelcome, unstoppable. Carranza protests furiously. Think about Villa's strategy now. He wanted American intervention, needed it desperately. American troops in Mexico make Carranza look like Washington's puppet. Mexican nationalism ignites across the nation. Common people refuse helping Americans find Villa. His political gamble works. Militarily, he's hunted everywhere. Pershing's cavalry penetrates deep 350 miles into Chihuahua. They chase rumors constantly, question villagers who lie convincingly, fight Villa's remnants in sharp engagements. March 28th, near Guerrero. 7th and 10th Cavalry strike hard, kill Villa's remaining officers. Villa escapes again, always escapes. 450 raiders survive Columbus initially. Pershing's men kill 169 over subsequent months, most participants in the Columbus attack eliminated. Villa's officers die in ambushes. His supplies captured, his horses taken. But the man himself disappears like smoke through canyons. Months pass slowly. Summer heat bakes Chihuahua mercilessly. Pershing's expedition accomplishes nothing except killing Villa's subordinates. Mexican government demands immediate withdrawal. Carranza sends his own troops blocking American movements. Skirmishes erupt between supposed allies. Tensions escalate dangerously toward war. Wilson grows anxious about Europe. Meanwhile, Villa rebuilds in hiding, recruiting quietly, training new men, planning future operations. American occupation does exactly what he predicted, makes him popular again. Mexicans hate foreign soldiers on their soil more than they hate Villa. He becomes resistance symbol. Bandit transforms into nationalist hero. Back in Columbus, families bury their dead in quiet ceremonies. Fred Griffin's body returns to South Carolina, age 19. His mother receives folded flag. No compensation, no pension, just pride and grief intertwined. 8 soldiers died similarly. 9 civilians likewise. Their sacrifice buys outrage. 6 raiders captured during the attack face trial swiftly. American justice moves without hesitation. All convicted. 1 sentence commuted to life imprisonment. 5 will hang publicly. June 9th, 2 executed. June 30th, 3 more. Their bodies buried in Potter's Field. History forgets their names entirely. The remaining dead Mexicans dragged south of stockyards, soaked with kerosene, set ablaze. The stench hangs over Columbus for days afterward. No names recorded, no families notified. They came as raiders, left as ash. Anonymous violence begets anonymous death. 67 men, reduced to nothing. January 1917. Pershing receives new orders from Washington. Prepare withdrawal immediately. European war looms larger now. Germany threatens unrestricted submarine warfare. American priorities shift eastward across Atlantic. Villa hunt ends in failure. Expedition retreats between January 28th and February 5th. 11 months wasted chasing shadows. What did America accomplish ultimately? Villa escaped. Mexican-American relations poisoned for decades. Carranza humiliated and angry. $675,000 spent futilely. Several American soldiers killed in skirmishes. Only success. Villa never raids United States again. Fear replaces boldness in him. But consider the larger impact on military evolution. Pershing learned valuable lessons about mobilizing large forces rapidly. Coordinating cavalry, infantry, artillery in hostile territory. These skills he'll use commanding American expeditionary forces in France. World War I training ground accidentally created in Mexican desert. The expedition also tested new technology experimentally. 1st Aero Squadron deployed with 8 fragile biplanes. Most crashed immediately. Engines failed repeatedly. Weather grounded them constantly. But military aviation learned hard lessons in Mexico. Lessons applied later in European skies over France. Columbus raid echoes forward. Villa himself survives until 1923. Eventually makes peace with Mexican government reluctantly. Retires to ranch awarded him. Mexican officials grant him land, pension, bodyguards. Then assassins strike in Parral. Multiple gunmen ambush his car. 47 bullets tear through him. Villa dies violently. Columbus rebuilt, slowly, painfully. Main Street businesses replaced over time. Hotel reconstructed. Sam Ravel's store reopened eventually. But the town never fully recovers psychologically. 3 miles from border suddenly feels dangerously close. Many families move away permanently. Population shrinks. Memory lingers like smoke. Camp Furlong expanded briefly during punitive expedition. Became major staging base for thousands of troops. Then war ended. Army withdrew completely. 1926. Camp decommissioned officially. Buildings demolished or abandoned. Only memories and foundations remain today. Now, Pancho Villa State Park preserves history. Tourists photograph ruins. Why did Villa really attack Columbus? Revenge against Ravel? Seizing supplies desperately needed? Provoking American intervention strategically? Forcing Carranza into impossible position politically? All these reasons simultaneously? Villa never fully explained his motivations. Different people reported different reasons. Truth died with him in Parral. Some historians suggest German agents manipulated Villa covertly. Germany wanted America distracted, not joining European war. Mexican-American conflict served German interests perfectly. Evidence remains circumstantial and debated. Intriguing theory. Probably unprovable conclusively. But Germany did send the Zimmermann telegram later, proving their Mexican scheming existed. Others emphasize Villa's desperate pragmatism. Revolutionary movement collapsing militarily. Men starving daily. Ammunition exhausted completely. Columbus offered easy target, or so spies claimed incorrectly. Raid provided immediate supplies, while humiliating rival Carranza simultaneously. Pragmatic banditry with political bonus attached. Perhaps that simple explanation suffices ultimately. But consider the psychological dimension carefully. Villa felt betrayed deeply. America supported him initially with enthusiasm, then switched to Carranza abruptly. Presidents, businessmen, arms dealers all promised support, then withdrew it. His pride demanded response. Not just robbery, not just tactics. Wounded honor screaming. This makes Villa's raid both rational and emotional simultaneously. Calculated strategy serving wounded ego. He knew attacking America risked death certainly. Proceeded anyway determinedly. Desperation, rage, strategy, pride, all mixed together inseparably. Human complexity defying simple explanation. Like most historical events, multiple truths coexist simultaneously. The attack shocked Americans profoundly nationwide. Since War of 1812, no foreign military force attacked continental United States successfully. Century of security shattered by Mexican raiders. psychological impact exceeded physical damage significantly. If Columbus could burn, nowhere felt completely safe anymore. National anxiety rose. Politicians exploited this fear shamelessly, demanded stronger borders immediately, larger military budgets, aggressive foreign policy toward Mexico. Villa inadvertently strengthened American militarism significantly, the very outcome he hoped to avoid. Instead of weakening American resolve, he hardened it permanently. Unintended consequences haunted him. For Mexico, consequences proved equally complex and damaging. Carranza looked weak, allowing American troops invading. Villa gained temporary popularity among peasants, but Mexican economy suffered terribly. American banks stopped loans. Diplomatic relations froze. Border became militarized zone permanently. Both nations lost more than gained. Individual stories offer the most haunting legacy ultimately. Fred Griffin dying at 19, killing 3 raiders with final breaths. Lieutenant Castleman colliding with enemy in darkness. Maud Wright hiding grief while neighbors died around her. These personal moments of terror, courage, tragedy, history's real cost. Families shattered on both sides of border. American widows burying husbands. Mexican mothers never learning sons' fates, bodies burned unidentified. Grief doesn't recognize nationality or politics. War's mathematics. 17 Americans plus 90 Villistas equals 107 families destroyed forever. Numbers inadequately measure human loss. You sit in your Columbus home tonight. Mary Field Page, school teacher. Bullets punching through walls. 40-50 holes pierce your piano. Your husband runs outside repeatedly with water buckets, putting out fires raiders keep lighting. You hide, praying. Somehow you both survive. Mary Field Page, Mrs. Parks, operates the telephone switchboard while bullets fly past her head. Glass shatters around her. She stays at her post, connecting calls, telling the world what's happening to Columbus. Her fingers work switches mechanically. Professionalism overcomes terror. She refuses to abandon her duty. Colonel Herbert Slocum was dancing in Deming when Villa attacked. He returns at 5:30, after most raiders had already been driven from town. Soldiers immediately whispered he hid deliberately. He takes safe position on nearby hill directing fire, his reputation destroyed by absence. Columbus taught Americans that geography doesn't guarantee security permanently. Borders can be crossed easily. Enemies can strike home unexpectedly. This lesson, learned in 1916, echoes through American history repeatedly. Paranoia and preparedness both trace roots to Villa's raid. Security state born partly here. So, what remains of that March morning now? Ruins in desert, monument stones weathered, names carved in granite fading, museum displays rusted rifles and yellowed photographs. History reduced to artifacts in glass cases. But something else persists beyond memory. Knowledge that violence crosses borders. Villa succeeded and failed simultaneously. Paradoxically, his raid obtained supplies briefly, embarrassed Carranza politically, made himself legendary forever, but cost most of his army permanently. Brought American invasion, ultimately changed nothing fundamentally in Mexico. Spectacular gesture without strategic victory. Brilliant and futile simultaneously. America succeeded and failed identically. Mirror images. Pershing's expedition killed Villa's men, but missed Villa himself. Protected border afterwards through intimidation. Trained troops for World War I. Spent enormous resources accomplishing limited objectives. Overwhelming force chasing shadows through canyons. Power and futility intertwined inseparably.